Today, we're talking about UFC fighter. It's the kind of style that I really like.
I always liked high detail stuff. I
Definitely,
wanted to have the realism, but with a little bit of stylization.
There's things to get into with the sculpting and the texturing stuff and everything. Very realistic details, some things like very exaggerated.
Throughout the process, I usually try to do some like different renders with different materials and like lightings to kind of get to know the character better in terms of like what types of like lighting would work better for it and what type of presentation.
Hello and welcome to Pixel Peeps, the show where we take a deeper dive and a closer look at some of today's best digital art along with the artists that create them. Today, I'm speaking with Omid Moradi. Omid is a lead character artist at Blizzard on the Diablo team. He's also worked at Ninja Theory on Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga, crazy character art there. He's worked at NPC and Goodbye Kansas, pre-rendered stuff. Amazing, talented artist, does super high quality characters, and we're gonna take a deeper look at his project called UFC Fighter. Today's episode is sponsored by the Gnomon Workshop. If you're not already familiar, huge library of workshops from the world's best artists. I am a subscriber. I think you should be too if you're into this sort of thing. And Omid has a workshop on there. So towards the end, we'll even talk a little bit about his workshop where he does a full AAA character pipeline from soup to nuts. But Omid's just one of the many talented artists on there. So go check it out if you're not already a subscriber. There's a link in my description and the comment to use my code to save 20%. All right, so without further ado, let's jump in the episode with Omid Moradi. Today, we're talking about UFC Fighter, this project that is awesome and that I know a little bit about. We spoke before we got in here that I think I saw this in Chris Costa's class years ago. It's the kind of style that I really like where you have some things very realistic details, some things like very exaggerated, and then, you know what I mean, it's like stylized but not cartoony. It's like badass and cool, you know what I mean? So it's epic, like the old kind of Blizzard stuff too. So yeah, there's things to get into with the sculpting and the texturing stuff and everything. So maybe first I'll just ask, you know, what made you decide to make this? How did this start?
First of all, thanks for having me. This character did a lot in my career. I started my career, I think, like on 2008 to work as professionally. I think I was like 18 years old or something.
Oh, wow.
And I was like working in like some companies in Iran. I'm originally Iranian. I was working in some companies there and I was like doing some like a small freelance work. But the thing was, I was not happy with the salaries that I was getting. And I wanted to just like step up the game a little bit more. So just like I can make more money, I can work on better project, like cooler stuff and make a name for myself. So what I did was that time my girlfriend, but now my wife, we were like trying to plan to see like what we can do to just like make a better portfolio. So what I did was I took a
She does art too?
She's a producer.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, she's a
That's
producer.
cool. So you talked to her about it and like planned it out?
Yeah, a little bit more professional than like talking with other artists.
Yeah.
So the thing was, I took a screenshot of my portfolio, gathered like bunch of like I don't know like 10 or like 5 to 10 concept that I liked, and I photoshopped all of those concepts in my portfolio to see how my portfolio would look like. I gathered a few of them to showcase my like different skills. So one was like to showcase my anatomy skill, one was for like hard surface, one was for like armor sets and like those type of like medieval works and all of those. I did that like many times to see how it would work better, and I was like keep changing the position. Okay, this would be good, that would be good. And the other thing that I did was I did a series of things to see how it would be if I work on this one first, and this will be the only addition to my portfolio. How the whole layout of it would look and all of this stuff. So I decided to work on this one because it looked really cool. And it's based on a concept of, I think, on the other post that I posted, because this one has another older post. That one has the original concept artist
Yeah,
name.
7 years ago. But you
Yes.
said 2008 you were thinking about this. 2009.
No. 2008, I started working
Okay.
in like companies. But yeah, this was the concept.
Oh yeah, cool. Sick, dude.
He was working. I'm not trying to pronounce his name because I'm afraid to just like butcher. He was working in Riot at the time. I always liked high detail stuff, but not realistic, like fully realistic.
Exactly,
I
yeah.
wanted to have the realism, but with a little bit of a stylization and like realistic textures as well. So this one is for like 7 years ago, but I think I worked on it for like 3 months, I would say,
months.
at the time. And the thing was, I was working and I was like making decent money comparing to the, I mean, based on the country that I was living in. And in the whole situation, I was like making good money for back then. And I told my wife that I need you to support me for like 2-3 months so I can quit my current job.
How'd that go?
As it went amazing.
That her
It
reaction
changed-
was good?
Yeah, she's
sick.
usually like really supporting.
Awesome.
And the thing was, I worked on this guy and it was terrible at first. The thing was, the way I see art and like progression in art and like how I compare myself and every other artist that I know, the way I do it is like I always compare people with the very best in the industry. I was looking at this and I was like comparing myself to the very top of the game in anatomy and sculpting in the industry.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I need to push it as much as I can, just like compare this with those. And for sure, my skill set was not as good as them at the time. So how I could just like fill that gap, putting more time on it. So I killed myself like working on it like day and night and all of those. Like I changed it like way too many times.
People that are seasoned, I'm sure they understand when you say that, but looking at the project, the scope is not big, which is smart, but you're after quality. And so when you don't have a deadline, you're after quality, even though this is a small scope, what's taken a long time is the revisions and redoing and sometimes starting from scratch, right?
I started it and it looked cool. And I was like, it was really tempting to share it.
When you started out, you're thinking full body.
It's full body, even at the end. I just like worked more on the upper body. The thing is, it was looking like this. You
Yeah,
see
it's
the
not too
face,
bad.
so-
It's not too bad, but it's interesting the
Yeah.
small difference. What is it, 5 to 10% maybe different in the end.
The body was, I mean, this is not like the very, very, very first step.
Sure.
It was the step that I was thinking about sharing it.
This one was the one you were tempted. Okay, cool. So yeah, maybe talk about first the thought of not sharing it, and ultimately what you thought was the reason, or what you wanted to accomplish before you shared it. Why not?
I had some work in my portfolio that was kind of this level. Usually, when people see something at first, it's kind of like the first time you meet someone and you kind of categorize that person in a certain way in your mind. You see that person in your mind like that, and it takes a lot of work to change the image of that person in your mind in a different way.
Yeah.
So if you share like this and like keep changing it like 5% by 5% every week or so, people won't see it and won't get surprised by it probably. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the way I was like thinking.
That's cool.
And I think I'm still kind of agree with that statement. But the thing was, I wanted to have like a wow factor in my portfolio and kind of like drop something and leave and see, kind of like drop something big without anything, like any teasing or anything. Just like drop it there and just like boom. And I always say like, when you think there is something wrong with your model, it usually means that there is something wrong in it.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of stuff that I was
Even if you don't know
thinking.
what it is, right?
Yeah, exact. That's the thing. Usually when you know what's wrong, you know what's wrong and you work on it.
And you're fixing it.
But
Yeah.
yeah, when you feel there is something wrong, but you don't know exactly what, it means that your skill level needs to be like higher. So you need to just like work more on it and like work more on your skill set or and the character that you are working. And sometimes it means that you need to go crazy and change some stuff, like pushing and pulling your stuff like all the way, like going crazy, doing some tests to see if it makes it better or not. And that's what I did. So I was like, the face looks weird. It's not realistic. It just I didn't want to make it realistic, but it doesn't feel like a person. It's like
Doesn't feel natural enough.
yeah, it's not natural. It's like a base mesh. You know what I mean? A base mesh
Yeah.
that's not properly a sculpt. It doesn't have like a primary shapes. It just like bunch of shapes. And like the body was not as good. I didn't want to make just another muscly guy. I wanted to make like something that I personally kind of like feel it has a character. It didn't have any of those. So that was the reason I was like, if I shared it, it would be something between all of, I mean, at that time that I was like sharing it. Right now, I think there are not many people sculpting like anatomy for like human anatomy. Maybe it's because of like 3D scans and all of those that are around way too much. But like at that time, people were still like posting really solid anatomy work. I worked on it a little bit more, so I changed the face.
Face is getting
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. So the thing was the face was a little bit like an Asian type of face.
Yeah,
And
that's
see,
coming
like,
through more. And I see you did the crop
see?
now.
Yeah. You see
Yeah, you
like
made his head bigger.
the arms like by
Yeah.
triceps.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit better. Like the shoulder muscles are a little bit better. Some of these stuff have a little bit better definition. And see like little by little, I just like you see like it's way better already.
Yeah, now it's getting way better. Yeah, definitely.
So this one was
Yeah.
the beginning.
How much time do you think is in this difference here? Oh wow, you got some data.
Yeah, it's October 18, 2018. Like this one it was like 10 days.
Oh, 10 days.
already.
Okay.
Yeah, for Ready it was like 10 days and kept pushing. So compared these
Much
to
better.
this, already way better.
The 3/4 view too, really awesome. Especially the face, you know.
Exactly. I mean, the other thing that I usually do is like throughout the process, I usually try to do some like different renders with different materials and like lightings to kind of get to know the character better in terms of like what types of like lighting would work better for it and what type of presentation would work better.
It kind of breaks the monotony of how you've been seeing it. You literally view it in a different light. And then also, I feel like it gives me like energy. Do you know what I mean? Like it gives me another boost to go more time on it.
And sometimes it's just like sometimes you get comfortable with the matte cap or like with the color, and just like you change the color and you're like, oh, okay, now I see like more problems
Yeah.
or like more stuff to improve.
Especially with shadows. I don't know if you rendered it with shadows too.
Now you see something is starting here that I was focusing a lot on it. Looking at the concept, one of the reason that I really like this concept was, you see there are some like
Yeah.
flat planes, like a small plane changes in the whole thing. I really wanted to achieve those. And you see here, some of those stuff are coming through. But because this was the first time I was like sculpting such a thing, I mean, yeah, I was struggling to pull it off. But it was kind of like I was trying to figure out a process to do it because I needed to do it on the whole character. It was not, okay, this part is like that and that's it. The concept was 2D, but I needed to figure out a way that I can make kind of the same thing in 3D and make it make sense. It's a famous thing that some people only post the front view of their character because as soon as you just like rotate it around, it's just like everything just like goes all over the place.
Yeah.
It's just like one good angle. So
Yeah.
I wanted to make it good in all different angles.
Cool. And you can tell you're a little bit ahead of the game on the presentation showing multiple angles because that's common now, but you're showing off how it looks good at different angles.
It just like started to just like spreading throughout the areas. These stuff added to the knee. Some of these, like, even though I didn't present the leg, I was working on it. A little bit lower than knee. I didn't want to share anything lower than knee because I wanted to have those like a UFC type of like pants type of thing that they have. And the other thing was, you see, I added the gloves.
Okay.
And I wanted to have the same type of art style on the gloves as well. So you see, I kind of added this type of like sharper than usual type of line and
Okay,
these
cool.
type of like
Yeah.
yeah. So basically, I
Nice.
was working on those, and I was like keep changing it. And you see, I added some of those like plain works to the upper body. I mean, upper type part of chest as well.
Yeah. Also looking a lot more organic now with the surface
Yeah.
treatment.
So even comparing these six pack
Yeah.
with this, you see this like way
Yeah.
better. And you see
Yeah.
like this one, all of them were a little bit like too even in terms of width.
Okay. Yep.
I broke it. You see like the line in the middle is like way flatter and it's more straight, so I just like broke it a little bit more. So I was keep pushing, and here I added the pants because I was kind of happy with how the legs look. Yeah, I added the pants. And
How did you model the pants and the gloves? Like, what you started it?
I don't remember about the gloves, but I think I kind of extracted it from the kind of like masking and extracting it in ZBrush. And I, especially the pants, because it needs to have those shapes. The base mesh was not that high res because, again, at that time, the base meshes were not that high res, like 7-8 years ago. Usually we all had like some base meshes that we had, and usually they were like started with like poly modeling or whatever, and they were like a little bit lower res. I didn't extract it from the lower res. If I was doing it, it wouldn't get all of those like cool shapes from the sculpt. So I kind of like probably extracted from like subdivision 3 or ish or something like that. There were like some ways to, even if I was extracting from the base mesh, I could just like project it and smooth some areas. But I think I did the same for the hands as well, for the gloves as well. Probably I would have been adding these like the top part as like a cylinder and pushing it there just like for me to kind of like match with the rest of the gloves. But yeah.
Okay, cool.
So even between these and these, things are way better. The other thing is I started to work on the face more.
More like
See,
final
like,
polish.
Yes, and I really wanted to make it look like menacing and kind of like a, you see like just a little bit of the eyes are visible.
Yeah.
And it's like way too much. I always forget the name of each part of the eye.
Yeah, yeah. The
So
iris?
the white part, yes.
Oh, the white
white
part,
part
okay.
is like way more visible. It's just like a small bit of like dark spot.
Okay,
So the other thing was, you see here, I still don't have any veins.
Yeah.
So I was like keep pushing, and I was like checking like different type of lighting, and they were all still in ZBrush because at that time I didn't have any plan to render it.
Yeah, so is that why I remember it from Chris Costa's class? Is it that you like did the look
Yes.
dev and rendering it? Okay, cool.
Yeah. So the reason I was doing it was I wanted to make something that I can apply to different industry. So I could just like apply when you have like a really solid high poly skull, you can just like make a game character out of it. You can make it like a cinematic character out of it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to kind of like limit myself, but the limitation of the industry that I was aiming. Especially I didn't want to go to game industry at the time because I was like working in game industry for like way too long. I've been like a Blizzard cinematic fan for like way too long.
Yeah, I was gonna say that this is that Blizzard cinematic style that I love, like from Space Marine and stuff.
I always loved that. And I always wanted to work on cinematic industry. So because of that, I plan to only do it like as a high-res sculpt. Other version that we will talk about later in this session, that was another thing. Another time that I planned for the future. I will get to that. You see, like here I added these wrinkles on the pants as well. And the other thing was, you see these like
Yeah, cool.
lines on the body. I intentionally added them there for better readability on the muscles because of, again, the concept had some of these, and I was like, yeah, actually that looks cool. Let's see if I can pull it off. And I did it, but I didn't do it like way too way too crazy to go
Yeah, it's
like,
pretty subtle,
yeah,
but it's still cool.
yeah, it's there, but it's not in your face. Here, I started to add the veins as well, and for the
There we go.
veins, I did them in a like angular way. You see, most of these
Okay.
veins are not too curvy. Most of them have like kind of like a solid angles, and again, it was kind of like inspired by the concept. Little by little, I was like pushing it. These were the final images.
Nice.
So this is the final image, and you see, even from like this, it would be cool to just like post this, but there were so many stuff that I was like, it's not there yet. So yeah, I pushed it to this and posted it, and at that time I thought it just like the face is really cool and like the body is really cool. Now that I'm seeing it, I think the body is better than the face. The face could be better, but at the time I was like working on it for way too long, and I think that was the time that we were like, there were like some Facebook group for like a speed paint and
Yeah,
speed
yeah.
sculpt.
10,000 hours and everything.
Yeah, 10,000 hour like a speed paint and a speed sculpt. So we were used to just like working on something for like 30 minutes and posting it. So I was working on it for like 3 months or so. The first one was October 15, 2018. This one is November 25.
Okay.
So this was the whole process of working on it. It was kind of like 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah, probably 2 months. This was not the very first one. Probably I worked on this one for a week.
Yeah, you worked on it before you had your first screenshot, but is this also what you did during that time you asked off? You went, 3 months off of work, and this was
Yes.
this was essentially your full-time job doing this.
Yes.
Did it work after you posted it?
Yeah, it just like blew up. I got like so many offers after that. I think I posted this and I was like applying for like some companies because at the time I was like looking to relocate to out of Iran. I got like some answers to those like applications and got some offers, but during that process I messaged Rodrigue, this guy.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So the thing was, I worked with Rodrigue on Modern Combat Versus this project.
I remember this. Yeah.
This one is like 8 years ago. So I applied for them back then, and I got the job. Throughout the whole relocation and like visa process, my visa got rejected. So I worked with them for like 3 months or so as like a freelancer. That ended. I worked on this UFC fighter guy. And after I finished it, I just like sent a message to Rodrigue saying that, hey man, do you know anywhere like, actually I think I asked him to write a recommendation for me on LinkedIn or something. I don't remember what was exactly. But he said one of my friends, I think he said like recently started the company, like an outsourcing company, and they are looking for a character artist, which was Chaos Mason.
Oh wow.
And yeah, he introduced me to Marco. I think the first character I worked for with them was Batman Arkham Knight, the one that came out like a few years after.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
a few years before, like I think just like released like 5 years after I worked with them or something like that. And that just started so many things. I think I worked with Chaos Masons for like 2.5 years or something, and during that time I like worked on so many projects. There like this Valorant, Killjoy
yeah.
and Valorant that I did was
That's so
during
cool.
that time. These two like Hyperscape characters, I made like, I don't know, like 6 7 characters for Hyperscape. These two were like the coolest ones that I liked. I just like kept it in my portfolio. This character was like during that time as well. This was for like Killing Floor 2. And yeah, I worked for like some Warner Brother project through them, like some Ubisoft projects and some like so many like different types of projects. And we moved to Turkey, and actually during that time I took Chris Costa's class as well.
Okay.
The thing was, I wanted to work on like in cinematic industry as well.
Yeah.
So what do I have to work on? I had this character at the time. I mean, between this character and the thing that I'm saying, like a gap of like probably a year or so, maybe a little bit more. I worked on this guy as well, which is like kind of like the same type of character as this one that I worked like for so many months and like actually it's never ended. So these two characters, I had these two. They were like high res sculpts. And I took Chris's class and I was like, okay, which one should I pick to work on as like a high res character? And I picked this guy because it was lighter character in terms of like amount of assets that it has. Actually, let me think about it. No, I'm messing up the timeline. I worked on this. I worked with Chaos Masons for 2 and something years. I took Chris's class, but I didn't work on anything properly.
Yeah.
I had this guy like this like Hellboy character that I sculpted based on
It's cool.
Alex Oliver? Ben Oliver. So I had all of these, and at the time we moved to Turkey, and we've been there for like 2.5 years or something. During the time that I was in Turkey, I was like, again, I told my wife that this time I was like, I was not, you support me. I was like, okay, we kind of like have enough money, and we have, because I was like working on like so many projects, like 2 3 projects at the time during that time. I was like, I want to go one step higher. And
Level up again.
yeah, because level up again, because I was fine with the money that I was getting, but I was not as happy. I was like, okay, I think there's like more to it, more to just like grab. And I started to look at this guy. The thing was, you've been in that class with Chris, and he cut like the face of the character in like so many UDIMs, like a high pixel density. And I went overboard with this guy as well.
I've seen one of the in the presentation. I don't know if we got to it, but you did a little demo where you can just zoom in and then.
Yes, you probably remember this image. This was the image that I shown in the Chris's class during the time that we were in that class, because of like polycount of this base mesh. And he was saying that yeah, if it was like this much, you can like subdivide it to this, and you can go to like all of those like cool stuff that he does. I had this base mesh. It was like a personal base mesh that I had.
Now, is the arms a separate subtool?
No, it's not separated subtool. It's
Just a polygroup.
polygroup. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I was like telling him that okay, if I want to cut it in like different pieces to be able to work with
The HD geometry workflow, which is kind of tricky. It's probably a little bit easier now.
I wanted to prep it for that, but I never did. What I did instead was I unwrapped this guy to
Oh my
these
God.
many.
That's insane.
It's like 100 and something, like 130 UDIM or something.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, and UV seams, you can see
Yeah,
like white lines. It's like each of these are like one 4K image.
So if you didn't do HD geometry, did you do displacement projecting and like Mari?
Yes, the thing was at the time
That looks
I
like a Mari
knew the
model.
process. Yeah, I knew the process, but I was not as good in it. First of all, I didn't know what madness I will go through. The other reason that I did it like this was, again, I wanted to do something to stand out between all the good character artists that we had in the industry. So there were like so many character artists in the industry. They were like projecting displacement map and like making really cool high detailed stuff. And I bet like so many of them, especially the ones in the like a movie industry, they all knew how to add this many detail because like they've been doing it in like daily. But no one was doing it, I mean allegedly no one was doing it in like a personal work and sharing it online. So I was like, let's push it like to the like a craziness to see like how it would work.
That's cool.
The way I did it, there was like a problem here. This character, although it's like looking symmetrical, it was not symmetrical.
Not in space, but it looks like you're trying to make the UV symmetrical.
Yeah. So I did it symmetrically like this because in Mari you can link UDIMs together
Okay, so it's you think
instead
you
of
can. Okay.
yeah. So whenever you paint on the right side, for example, it will go to the left side, but it doesn't look at the
It uses UVs for the mirror.
yes.
Cool.
So because of that,
So you'd used Mari before to know that.
yeah, just like not too much, but I used it like
For work?
yeah. I didn't call myself like an expert, but
Sure.
I used it for like project, just a little bit of here, a little bit of that.
8 years ago, it's not exactly before Substance Painter, but it's before Substance Painter was so popular, right?
Actually, Substance was around. This was not 8 years ago. This was 3 years ago.
This was 3 years ago?
Yes, this
The Chris
one
Costa class was a long time ago, dude.
yes, I took the Chris Costa class, but I didn't make anything with that knowledge.
Okay, gotcha.
I was working in the game industry for like on like so many different projects, but after many years of doing that, I was like, let's step up.
Now I see. Gotcha.
Yeah. So I did this, and the thing was, I did it like this. I linked the UVs and like a small tip to just like a tips and trick that for anyone wants to do this. The thing was topology was symmetrical. The forms were not. You see like some of these like lines going like crazy and some shapes are like different. The way I did this was I cut the character in half, and because it's like way too high res with this base mesh, it was like was like the one that I wanted to keep as like a base mesh for rendering.
Yes.
So the base mesh was like lower res than this. I think like 2 subdivision lower res. So the way I wanted to do it, the way I did it was like I cut the character in half, removed one side, unwrapped this like the right side of it, and I mirrored it, merged the faces in middle, and you see like at the time that I was like unwrapping it.
Yeah. You did every other row so you could scoot it up one.
Exactly. And I mirrored it and did all of these and copied
Did a transfer attributes.
transfer attribute with that. So just like transfer attributes the UVs from that one to this one, which was the original mesh.
Maybe really quick, just to sum up in case, as a cool tip and trick, like, you know, you have a model that's not symmetrical in world space, but topologically it is. So if you split it so they're not welded and then you unwrap one side, you have one side that's not unwrapped. But if you flip the unwrapped side negative, right? And then you freeze it, you'd have to transfer vertex order probably, maybe not, but you could transfer. Yeah, you might have to do that. But if not, you could do the transfer attributes and just UVs. And then you can have it see, you could set it to topology. And then so now that one you split off before that didn't get UV'd, now you pasted it and now it's perfect. And then you just scooted them all up one row. And yeah, that's cool. It's smart, dude.
Yeah, I did it like that, and yeah, I just like started like doing the texture work in Mari.
Oh, dude, here we go, dude. Sick. Okay, so what are we seeing here? Is this the same render mesh we just saw, or is this the high poly, or what?
This is the same render mesh.
So, like, do you have baked stuff on here?
I have the baked ZDs.
You bake it in Zbrush with the multi-map
Yes.
exporter. You bring it
Yes.
in 32-bit displacement.
Yeah.
Is it actually moving verts or no? In Mari.
I added it as bump.
Okay, cool. All right,
Yeah,
cool.
because I didn't know how to use displace.
But it'd probably be slow.
Yeah, it would be way slower because for displacement map to work properly, it need to move the vertices. So if you want to properly see the vertices moving, you need to subdivide it.
When you showed the like 100-something UDIMs, like, I'm just curious how long it took to render a frame.
It was a lot. I don't remember exactly how much, but
Like 10 hours?
at the time I got my no, it was not 10 hour. I had
Okay,
like
cool.
a crazy Threadripper.
Oh, sick, dude. You have Threadripper? Whoa.
Yeah, I had
Dope.
at the time I got 3970X. So my
And you rendered it in Arnold.
yes, Arnold in Maya. It was
Yeah,
like
cool.
32 processors, 64 virtual processor, something like that.
So it's good for ZBrush. That's why you got the Threadripper is Sculpt high poly mesh.
I think Zbrush was not supporting the Threadripper and like multi-core properly. I think at some point they made it support a higher core count. The thing was, I baked the displacement maps in Zbrush, brought them here, connected them as bump map, And
Just to visualize it.
yeah.
This looks pretty pro. Look pretty organized, dude. Did you clean up
Yeah.
before we got on here? Is this how you work?
No,
To be
actually,
honest.
I'm kind of like, I have like a little bit of like OCD.
Okay, good.
coming to
That's
the,
good.
like,
That's a good
notes and
trait.
stuff.
I love working with people that have OCD, dude. It's so
Yeah.
clean.
So the thing is, that's an OCD thing. The other thing is when you are not really pro, you kind of go a little bit over organized. But I think this is better than going less organized, because even though it doesn't look crazy, it was a crazy process to make it work like this.
I want to know what you put on your. So it was texture XYZ. Okay.
So it was texture XYZ.
Was it like tiling skin stuff, or was it like photogrammetry, like sections?
No, it was like a photogrammetry skin displacement maps. It was old displacement maps.
Yeah, the old ones. Yeah. Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, human surfaces.
You see, like there is like one elbow displacement.
You know, I'm just curious to get your thoughts on this. So, would you do the same thing now? I mean, you get the two, you get the micro and the macro, which is pretty cool. But because now too, like the 3D scan store has pretty high resolution full bodies, and you could theoretically like wrap your mesh, and then in kind of a one click, you could, instead of doing multiple patches of projection and blending, you could get a full body to start with. I wonder what you think about it.
I won't do anything like this for personal project anymore.
Okay.
I will do that like a texture sorry, 3D scans.
Yeah, for work,
like
yeah,
a body
yeah.
stuff.
For sure.
But
How come, by the way? How come?
the thing is, you don't need it. And
Yeah.
actually, I did it like a few times. That I did something that you don't need it to stand out in the industry, and it worked really good for me in terms of like,
Yeah.
because like everyone was like, when I posted this, that like zoom in,
The zoom in, it's like a
yeah.
meme. It's like a viral.
Yeah.
It's kind of smart. Yeah, it is
Yeah,
smart.
The thing was, when I posted that, everyone was like commenting on LinkedIn, like, why the hell you did it? And I
On
was
LinkedIn,
like,
maybe, but if you but on Twitter and Instagram, people would be like, God mode. You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing
Look at
was,
that,
I was
look at
like this. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
it worked. That was my plan. My plan actually was you guys talking about like why the hell I did it like that.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah, and the nipple. That's a good.
Yeah.
That's intentional, right? Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's very noteworthy. People are gonna comment on that. You're thinking in levels, dude. You know, smart. That people gotta do that. You're thinking about the reaction. You're thinking about the people on the other end that are gonna see it and standing out and everything. Yeah.
And like I did it another time for the other character that we will talk about it. I had all of those like texture XYZ maps, and I was working with 3D scanner store stuff before that. I used to like get those like 3D scanner store characters and like wrap it on the body and use that, and it was like everything was working fine. But I wanted to go craziest possible for me to see how it would look. To be fair, it was not all for like going crazy just for sake of it and going crazy, showing off and like getting reaction. The other reason was I really was curious to see how much difference it would make if you go this crazy. When you have this much detail, you see, you don't need any roughness map,
especially with real displacement.
You don't need anything. You just like this, like the whatever like diffuse map you have, like color map you have, and you click render, go to sleep, wake up, you have really good results. Because you literally are doing it physics based. Like a crazy person.
I would probably still try and like make a cavity map or something out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because I like the crunchy.
Yeah, but like the thing is, the way I did it was, you see, like I had like a head displays, and actually for the head I used V-Face.
Okay. Yeah, that's relatively new, I guess.
It was kind of new, and actually one of the things that I do when I want to use V-Faces is I will go through all of these to see which one of these characters have some of the elements for the character that I want to use this map on. And you see this guy had like kind of like a same type of eyes and kind of same type of
the lips.
Yeah. And
I think just a comment, just as an aside for anyone, for the few people maybe that aren't familiar with all this. One, Texture XYZ is this resource that they've this photogrammetry, library, and you can see the price, you can buy these and then use them in your work. And it's literally used in the industry too. Famously, Thanos from like Endgame and everything is using it. They have an article. They tell you which ones are used in this movie. And when you look at the list, it's like 30-year-old woman. And it's just, the artist just had all of them. And they just used what they wanted for the exact look. So I just think it's cool that you can get stuff that's actually used in movies. And two, it already speaks to what, the point that you're making, in that this is even before V-Face was Thanos. And I feel like if it's good enough for a Marvel movie, you really got to ask yourself, do we need to keep going? You know what I mean?
I use the V-Face for the face. And you see, I separated each channel because texturing XYZ, for people who don't know, have multi-channel displacement, which has like tertiary shapes, secondary shapes, different levels of details, like matching each other, but in different channels in the displacement that they have. So like big forms, small detail, like macro details, I named them like that. So the way I did, you see this theme is going through all of these. They have like big forms and macro details. The archive that I had, the ones that I got for the body displacement maps, all of them I was like trying and like testing, and I noticed like some of them, like separating them like in these two would be enough, and some of them like better have like three. And so the way I did them was like big forms and macro details, and I separated them from each other so I can first mask them differently if I want, and give them different intensity based on each region. So you see, this was the belly region, this was the chest region, this was shoulder, neck, back, and arms. I could control each of them separately and have it in mind that it's not like you have one map that covers the whole arm. It has like sections of the arm, or like some of these maps from a thin arm, not this chunky arm. So if you project it as is, it would be a stretch, because the biceps of this guy is like as thick as my neck. I would have like a chunky neck. Actually, it's like way thicker than mine. So the problem it would cause, if I was not separating them, would be like a lot of dirty seam lines between each part of the projection. And they had a little bit of like different intensity in some areas. So chest was not like blending properly and smoothly with the arm displacement map.
Yeah, so how did you blend them?
The way I did them was, here I had like each time I was like blending one thing to another. I had a paint mask. I started with the belly, I added the chest, and I merged the chest with the belly, and I had this paint map to mask out area. And for example, I don't remember how I was like showcasing one of these like regions, but for example, if I was, let me put it this way, each of these sections had a little bit of overlapping with the other
exactly.
Okay. So the belly was going through a little bit of chest was going through a little bit of belly, and all of these areas. So I had that paint layer to just like mask out, to see like how I can mask it to make sure these two would like blend perfectly. And with these two like separated like
the big and
parts,
the small,
big and small one, I could like, okay, like if I want to merge these with that, I need to either just like increase the intensity of one or like decrease the other one. So I was like, it was all the balance game. And you see, like every time that I was like merging one to other one, I had like one paint layer that I was like using that as like a mask. The rest of it was like going there, rotating the displacement map like a stencil, like projecting it, making sure like it's not crazy. And really a strong feature for like Mari is like you can literally preview all the pores, like this detail. And because you see, like when you go to here, you see it just like rendering. So it doesn't load everything if you don't look at it.
Makes sense. Looks like it MIPS or something.
Yes. And when you zoom in, you wait for a little bit. It just processes everything. So because of that, you can have all of these details in your like a viewport. And started rendering this guy, and the render process was crazy as well. First I started with the V-Face because it has like more detail. It was kind of like there, because V-Faces, for those who don't know, V-Face comes with a mesh, like a geometry. that you can wrap the geometry using like Z-Wrap or like Wrap 3D software on your like head sculpt. And I did that, transform all the like a texture to the base mesh that I had.
What'd you use to transfer it?
It must have been normal.
What would you use now?
I recently find out that you can do it with Marmoset. I use usually like Marmoset. Recently, I mean like past like 2 years or something. But the thing is, you don't need like 135 UDIMs anymore. I mean, I don't have any like 135 UDIMs anymore. So faces usually I have are like 1/8 map. So I don't need to have XNormal anymore or like any other transfer thing. So, but for this guy, I used it like that. Actually, for this step that I was doing the look there, I was sharing every step now. It was not the other one. I was like keep sharing because first it was like good results. And it was interesting. And I wanted to keep making content on social media and like especially on LinkedIn because I wanted to just like be seen.
You're still eyeing that cinematic job?
Yes. Actually, for this guy, I used V-Face for the texture detail, but for the body, I used those displacement maps that we talked about. But for the color of it, I used actually 3D Scan Store. For the body, the color comes from 3D Scan Store still. I was like keep adding like these details. So you see, details are there, but I didn't still have a good results on the render.
Why do you think that is?
The thing is, I needed to exaggerate some of the stuff in my skull to just like come out better in the displacement maps. And I needed to balance between like how much of these like macro like detail that I have, it's better to be visible, how much of the like a ZBrush displacement I need to be visible. So yeah, I was like keep balancing them. And you see like on this one, the Z disp is not there. So on this, I added this ZBrush displacement map, but you see like this like dark spot on the like this like a belly button area is there. So I was like keep tweaking it using like different HDRI maps. Actually here you see the difference between if you have those details and if you don't.
And why is that? Is that on purpose in the render you did?
No, because I only worked on the top part.
This is like a test while you're working in Mari?
Yes. You see the...
Yeah, very cool. You can see the difference.
The roughness map is flat color. So this is the result of having it, and this is the result of not having it. So even though like here, you don't see the detail, you see the impact of it on the roughness. You see the top part looks like a skin, but here like plastic.
Plastic, yeah.
See here, it's like that. And it's like, actually, I think I rendered these because someone asked me why the hell I'm adding all of these details. And I posted these like a screenshot of the arm and say like, because of this flat image on there. And I was like messing with people like, yeah, I mean, I do it because I can and all of this. And I was happy I'm getting all of those reactions. So you see here, the thing that I did, you see the face is different than the skull.
Is it crunched? Is it cranked, or is it got some roughness on there?
No, in terms of like...
I see it's darker too. It's not like overexposed.
No, in terms of a sculpt.
Oh, so you went back and updated the sculpt too?
Yeah. So this was...
Looks like he's getting a little bit more naturalistic.
Yeah. Let's go to the final sculpt. So this is the...
the nose looks smaller, less plump.
So, and your eyes are like totally different and it's like more realistic. Because I mixed my sculpt with Texture XYZ V-Face model.
Oh, I see.
So I grabbed some of the shapes, like I just like left the eyes be exactly as the Texture XYZ V-Face model is.
Okay.
I mean, I matched the proportion of them with my model.
Yeah.
Because I usually do wrap manually in ZBrush. I don't usually use Z-Wrap or Wrap 3D.
Oh, really? You wrap manually?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I just like pushing and pulling the model to just like match it. And I use like project little by little, and I use morph target to just like, okay, this part. The reason I'm doing it is because there are some really subtle shape changes in the scans that are making the face realistic.
Yeah.
And if you wrap the whole thing all together to your mesh, you cannot go bit like a, okay, I want a little bit of those shapes be visible. So because your model was like totally different and now it's like your character. Now, if you blend some area, it just like goes between the original.
Okay. Wow.
So, but when you manually do it, Before
Yeah.
using project button in ZBrush, you just like save it somewhere. So you have that version of text, like a V face that proportionally and like in terms of like big shapes are looking like your character, but it doesn't have all of those sculpted detail.
Yeah.
So now that you have it like that, when you project, you can have a more target to, okay, I want these areas to be a little bit more like the scan. I want these areas to be a little bit more like the sculpt that I had. So you can mix and match. What I did here was I kind of went more toward the scan for the eyes. And see, it's like way more realistic comparing to
Yeah.
the sculpt, the original
Yeah.
sculpt. So yeah, I was like keep adding more and more. Yeah, actually this is one of those like images that I shared. You see, like if you
Yeah.
zoom in, all of those stuff are there.
There you go. Got some eyes now.
So I added eyes and I was like keep black and white. The thing is, something that I suggest everyone doing when they are texturing something is to just like keep looking at their texture for God's sake in black and white. Because color is one thing, value is another thing, and those are equally important. Sometimes you look at someone's like texture work and you're like, okay, it looks cool, but it's not as good, and they are like keep changing the color and you're like, dude, it's not the color, just change the value, because like the value of these different elements are exactly the same. One is blue, one is red, for example, and one is green, but the value of the darkness and brightness of all of these are exactly the same. So when they are exactly the same value but different color, it's not interesting. You need to have like a different value. So keep looking at your model with like texture like black and white to just like make sure all the value changes are there. So what I was doing here was like checking black and white to see like if the lips are like different enough from the face, and if in black and white there are these stuff are coming through enough, or I need to go through and just make them a little bit darker and brighter. Because when you look at them like here, you don't know if it just like tricks your eye by like having different colors, or like no, it's actually different in values as well, and it makes a cool looking image as well.
Yeah. Moody. Curious what you're gonna do for the eyebrows.
Probably nothing. I think I did nothing for the eyebrows.
Oh, sick. Ooh, that's an awesome one, bro. That's an awesome one. Goddamn. I feel like I should ask too, and I wonder if it's just because you didn't want to cover up your cool skin, although I think it would look sick. But the concept had a bunch of tattoos. Why didn't you want to add the tattoos?
Laziness.
It'd be a lot of drawing. It'd be a lot of drawing. It's a strong reason. Yeah, I like how you say laziness, but it can't be the actual reason if you think about it, because look at the lengths you went. If you were lazy, you would have posted the first version of this, but you worked on it forever, so it's not exactly laziness. It's priorities.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
the thing
okay, you. Oh yeah, so you
Yeah.
predicted the concept.
I started.
Oh, you
doing
started.
that.
So you were gonna ink. You were gonna like do an outline on everything.
Yes, and I was like, no,
It's a lot of drawing. Because also you'd have to, because of the realism level that you're reaching with the look dev and lighting, the tattoo has to look like a tattoo. Like there is
Yes.
no other way you can do it, or else it
Yes.
ruins it.
And the other reason was I got so many offers after this. I was like, okay, I'm working like
Done.
crazy,
Yeah.
like 2 projects at the same time, and like a high caliber project. The thing was, after I did this, I got approached by Axis Studio in Scotland to work as a lead character artist in their like cinematic company.
Sick, dude.
Before that, the plan that we had was, I was talking with my wife that, okay, I will apply for some game companies, and in the next 5 years, I'm like perfecting my craft for cinematic type of industry to just like showcase my like quality of my work and just like make it like a good portfolio for myself. And then I will apply for some cinematic companies. And I posted these and I got approached to come join us as a lead character artist in cinematic. I was like, wait, what? So everything clicked.
Was it from posting on LinkedIn or ArtStation, or do you know? Where did they see it?
I think mix of everything. But LinkedIn, for that reason, I mean, LinkedIn was not like a social media that it is now. It was more like professional. It was more LinkedIn, because in LinkedIn there are like so many other people that see your work. It's not only the artist, because I think I got approached by Axis through a hiring company.
I see. Yeah, which are all over LinkedIn. Yeah.
So some of these keywords I use in your like posts, because like when I was sharing it, other people were like resharing it and like commenting and all of those. Each of those people had some like one of those like hiring managers or like HR people in their like connection list. This will go around and those people would look at it. If they see some of those like keywords or like a specific art style that they are looking for, they would. I was like trying to just like see different moods. I really like these ones in terms of like how solid the body looks.
Yeah, dude.
In terms of like it looks like a kind of like carved out of like a stone or
Wood or something. Yeah. Yeah. It's just funny because for whatever reason it popped in my head that story of Kanye where someone walked in and Kanye was listening to his own music and he's like, "This shit's dope." He says so you're doing the right thing when you're like, "Yeah, dude, this shit's dope."
No, I really like this lighting.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the other ones are like very flat in terms of like they are like
Yeah, more studio. And
yeah, it's like more a studio, but I really like those like moody lightings.
I really like the dramatic ones where like it's a lot of shadow, a lot of high contrast.
Here, I changed the face again.
I like this one more. I'd get a little bit back to the style.
Yeah, I was like, it's like too realistic. I don't like it.
Yeah. Much better, much better.
Yeah, I just like changed it back to the like a stylized face and like some shapes and.
Much better.
Yeah.
Hey, UFC.
There is a funny story about these guys. There is a person in the world that think this guy is a real UFC fighter and his name is Omid Moradi. And
Oh,
that
wow.
guy has a YouTube channel that makes different UFC fighters fighting Bruce Lee.
Weird. Like with AI?
No, in like a UFC video game. Makes
video
like
game, okay.
yeah, custom UFC character and add them like
Yeah.
put them in front of Bruce Lee and just like they fight. So I fought with Bruce Lee 2 times in his YouTube channel. He made 2 videos, Omid Moradi versus Bruce Lee.
Oh, I see what you mean. Someone thinks that your character is a real person named Omid Moradi
Yeah, and it's like
because he just saw the image and the name.
if you search Omid Bruce Lee and it's like a random guy with the same.
And so he's trying to make it with the character creator.
No, I think it's like the character created inside the UFC.
That's what I mean. Yeah, in the game.
Yeah,
That's
but-
cool that they put Bruce Lee in the game.
I saw it and I
There
was
he
like,
is,
oh
dude.
my god, someone in the world think this guy is
There's
like,
Omid, dude. Look at there he is from America.
from America.
You know what? To be fair, that does sound like a UFC fight. This is one of my favorite ones, bro. This is one of my favorite ones ever. But yeah, that does sound like a UFC fighter's name. To be fair, Omid Moradi. It's a good fighter name.
Yeah, another life.
Yeah, now you've been working your dream jobs, and you somewhat recently, within a year ago, you made this full-on character. You did a workshop for Gnomon, so people, that are interested, they can watch it now with the Gnomon Workshop subscription. It's a full-on character thing taught by you and everything, so
Yes,
it's pretty epic.
2 volumes. The first volume goes through the high-res process. It starts with sculpting the body and face literally from scratch.
There you
Grab
go.
a mannequin and just like go and sculpt the face and all of those, and like it kind of like shows a lot of the process that I use. I use a little bit of like Marvel's Designer as well, but one thing that I really wanted to show was how I sculpt like fabrics, because I'm
Cool.
upset with like sculpting fabrics. I go crazy. Oh, actually, I was saying that like I used this thing one more time, that I posted something just like make people say why the hell you did it. I posted this character's turban and I posted like saying like no 3D scan, no Marvel's Designer, all sculpted manually in Zbrush. And some people was like commenting, dude, was that really necessary? And I was like laughing, like messing with them a little bit.
I mean, dude, I prefer sculpting myself. Anyways, like that turban in Marvelous, that seems like such a pain in the neck to try and figure that out. Some things can naturally be simulated and it's a big win, and other things is like, dude, I mean, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, and so the
Nice.
whole turban with this scarf thing, all of them I just like sculpted them.
That's cool, and
there.
you can see that in the workshop video, right?
Yeah. I just like literally go through the whole process from the beginning to end. And the second volume is like how to retopologize the same character.
Texture, render.
Actually, you don't get to do it that many times these days to just like retopo hand and face, because there are like Unreal base meshes or like 3D Scan Store or all of those base meshes. But I showcased like how you can retopologize face and hands as well.
Yeah, it's great, man. I mean, it's one of the best values for people in the character art for games games world or cinematics world. I mean, obviously, Gnomon Workshop has a ton of great content by experts, but this is just obviously so up my alley and the stuff I do. So I'm sure people on here are interested. So yeah, it's cool that, you know, with all the body of work you've been doing and all that stuff, people can learn and see a full character, which is really rare.
I try to make it in a way that it's not only for game characters, because a lot of these stuff that I'm saying can also be applied to like cinematic characters. For example, the way that I was retopologizing different stuff by like going a little bit lower res, then going higher res, and yeah, maybe some areas would be like, for example, the turban. This one is more like game character, but
Yeah.
like for some other, the process that I was using, I was saying, okay, do this first and do this. Now, if you subdivide it, you can use it as a basement. If
Yeah.
not, you can triangulate some area and just like use it as like a game one.
Yeah, epic project, man. Really cool.
Yeah, it was like a lot of work to do.
I know. So yeah, great job.
I think this was actually the first time ever that I made a tutorial and published it online.
Oh, cool. Well, I hope you do more. Really cool. And yeah, thank you, dude. Thank you for sharing process. It was super interesting to see. And I think it's good, like, you know, some takeaways for me is how relentless you were on this one project. A lot of interesting stuff you don't see all the time is the going back, like essentially leveling up twice in a way, using it the first time, posting it to get in the certain kind of role in the industry, going back to it and then getting a different role, using LinkedIn, you know, being like doing things in the public eye. And so, yeah, I think it gives people probably some ideas that are trying to make a name for themselves too.
I was like talking with some folks a few months ago about like the same process, and one thing that I was saying was like, when you work professionally, you don't have all the time in the world. You have a limited time when you come back from work, and if you want to step up, you need to use that time smartly. So I had a limited time that I wanted to step up, and I was like, okay, I can go back and make a fully new character and start like sculpt it from scratch, and then adding all those details and make a
Yeah.
cinematic character. Or I can grab one of the old ones, improve it, texture it, and render it. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, that makes sense.
Smart. Really cool. I love success stories too. It's cool to see you now in the roles that you are, lead character artist at Blizzard and everything. So yeah, man, awesome stuff. Thank you so much for your time today and sharing your workflow and your information.
Thanks for inviting me.
Of course. All right. Thank you everyone for listening. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.